Welcome to my channel. Sit back and enjoy the story. The nationwide search began immediately. The kingdom, having witnessed a power beyond anything they had ever imagined, wanted the boy. Some called him a saint, an angel sent to save them from destruction. Others feared him, a powerful sorcerer who could destroy them with a thought. Elias became a legend in his own time, whose existence defied the very laws of their world. A master of magic, who didn't just cast spells, but bent reality itself. He had revealed his power, and now, the entire world was looking for the boy who saw the universe not as a mystical force, but as a science. One evening, as Elias and his parents shared a simple meal, a group of armed men, wearing the crest of a powerful noble house, stormed into their humble home. They were not knights, but mercenaries, hired to bring the boy in for a king who desired his power. His father, a farmer with a strong will and a loving heart, stood in front of his son. His mother, a kind woman who had always sheltered him, tried to reason with the men. Their pleas were met with cold indifference. The leader of the group, a hulking brute with a scarred face, simply laughed and struck Elias's father, sending him sprawling to the floor. A cold, unfamiliar rage ignited in Elias's chest. He had spent his life observing and understanding the world, but he had never felt such a raw primal emotion. It was not just anger, it was the fury of a universe unbalanced, the destructive force of a star collapsing. His fear for his parents was a catalyst, transforming his apathetic, scientific detachment into a weapon. The mercenaries, still laughing, raised their weapons, intending to subdue him. They were confident in their numbers and their armor, thinking they were facing a mere child. But they were not facing a child. They were facing a force of nature. Elias didn't chant, didn't wave his hands. He simply saw them, not as people, but as collections of cells, of atoms, of molecules. He saw the weak points, the spaces between, the delicate balance of their bodies. From his fingertips, a torrent of magic erupted. It wasn't a fireball or a bolt of lightning, but something far more precise and terrifying. 100 glowing needle-thin projectiles, like concentrated beams of light, shot forth. They moved with the speed of thought, each one a minuscule spear of pure energy, a perfect atomic-level projectile. The mercenaries' laughter was cut short, replaced by gasps of agony and disbelief. The magic missiles, driven by Elias's focused rage, pierced through their armor as if it were paper. They didn't just injure, they atomized the very cells they touched. One mercenary clutched his chest, a glowing hole the size of a pinprick appearing where his heart had been. Another tried to raise his sword, only to watch as a needle of light passed through his head, leaving a wisp of smoke and a vacant, lifeless expression. The leader, the one who had hurt his parents, found himself facing a barrage of the glowing needles. He didn't even have time to scream as they struck his body, one after another, each a surgical, precise strike that turned his organs into dust. In a matter of seconds, it was over. The mercenaries lay lifeless, their bodies untouched on the outside, but utterly destroyed on a cellular level. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by Elias's shaking breaths and the quiet groans of his parents. His rage subsided, replaced by a hollow emptiness and a profound fear. He had not just defended his family, he had become a killer. He ran to his parents, his hands still glowing, and began the delicate, terrifying work of healing them, not with spells, but with science, cell by agonizing cell. He had finally revealed the full extent of his power, a power that could not only destroy a dragon, but also shatter the very essence of a man. He was no longer just a boy, he was a weapon. Elias worked frantically, his hands a blur of shimmering light as he meticulously wove the magic of cellular reconstruction. His father's deep bruise faded, and his mother's wound closed, leaving behind only the ghost of a scar. When he finished, he sank to the floor, the horrifying reality of what he had done crashing down on him. The air was thick with the silent screams of the men he had unmade. He was no longer just a boy who could freeze water or start fires. He was an executioner, and the universe had given him the most precise weapon imaginable. He heard the Arch-Mage's voice before he saw him, a familiar wave of magical energy preceding the old man's arrival. The Arch-Mage and a dozen royal guards appeared in a flash of teleportation magic. The scene before them was a chilling puzzle. The home was in perfect order, with not a single piece of furniture broken, but on the floor lay the bodies of the mercenaries, their armor and clothing intact. Yet their eyes stared blankly at the ceiling, their skin was a sickly gray, and there was no pulse. The Arch-Mage, his own body still showing faint scars from the wounds Elias had healed, knelt beside one of the bodies. He didn't need a spell to understand what he was seeing. He saw no blade wounds, no burn marks, no signs of impact. There was nothing. His own mind, trained in the arcane arts for a lifetime, couldn't comprehend it. He realized with a jolt of terror and awe that the same boy who had saved him had now become a monster of untold power. This wasn't magic, it was something else entirely. It was an art of deconstruction, of unmaking. Elias, still trembling, looked up. He expected a cell, an execution, a punishment for his violence. But the Arch-Mage's gaze was not one of judgment, but of a terrifying mix of understanding and fear. You didn't cast a spell, the old man whispered, his voice hoarse. You didn't use an element, you saw them. You saw them as dust. They hurt my parents, Elias said, his voice a choked whisper. I had to. The Arch-Mage slowly rose, his eyes never leaving the boy. The guards, confused and on edge, waited for his command. The king will not see it that way, the Arch-Mage said. He will see this as an act of defiance. He will see you as a weapon he cannot control. They were sent by a noble house. The fallout from this will shake the kingdom. Elias looked at his parents, now stirring and confused. He knew he couldn't protect them anymore, not in this small home. He had revealed a power too great to hide. I need to leave, he said, the truth of his new reality settling in. Leave and you'll be hunted. The entire world will hunt you, the Arch-Mage countered. Your power is too great for them to ignore. They will not rest until you are found, and when they do, they will either use you or break you. He knelt down, his expression softening slightly. Come with me. I can offer you a different path. Not as a weapon or a prisoner, but as an apprentice. I can protect your family while you learn to control what you are. The kingdom has no idea what you are capable of, and I have no doubt that others, far more ruthless than a king, will soon be hunting for you. Elias looked from his parents' confused faces to the Arch-Mage's steady gaze. He knew he couldn't simply vanish again. The dragon incident was a whisper, but this was a massacre. The scientific boy who had used reason and logic to understand magic was now faced with the most illogical choice of his life. Trust the man who had been sent to find him, or run and risk everything. He took a deep breath, and for the first time in his life, he let go of logic and embraced the unknown. He reached out and took the Arch-Mage's hand. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Until then,